games back then, and even now, use these levels as their main structure. Whether it's just a level, a stage, a dungeon, or one huge overworld, the developers usually want to throw us into something new and creative. Note that I said usually. And I'm here to pay a tribute to these amazing levels. As usual, the same rules apply, and this is just my personal opinion. These are the 10 levels that I personally thought were the most enjoyable, creative, and just fun overall. But enough talk, let's get to it. When it comes to the Jack series, there aren't really levels that have truly delivered. At least not 2 and 3 didn't. Many of the levels in these two games were usually bland, stupid, or just simply kicking my ass. At least I felt that way. So we're forced to look at the first game, Recurso Legacy, and hot damn, this game has some really cool levels. And I choose the final level, Gol and Maya's Citadel. Yeah, sure, this level might be a bit more linear than all the other levels, but I like this level because of how clever it is, and it acts as a great final challenge before the final boss. Gol and Maya's Citadel has some very interesting puzzles, and they change throughout the level depending on the stage you're trying to save. Also, I like how this level puts your platforming skills in a test without being too hard or unforgiving. This level also tests your skills with the different colored ecos you've used throughout the game. The design is very interesting and, dare I say, kind of intimidating in its own way. The same can be said about the level's music. It's very weird, but it has kind of a sinister and ominous feel to it. Like something will happen if you don't stop this. In conclusion, Gol and Maya's Citadel is a great final level. It's a great test of everything you've learned, and a little bit more. When it comes to the Sonic series, oh screw it, you already know it's from Sonic Colors. I had kind of a hard time choosing just one level from this game. There's Sweet Mountain, which just makes me fucking drool. Then there's Starlight Carnival and Planet Wisp, which are basically the prettiest levels in the series, and Aquarium Park, which is one of the greatest water levels in history and was really close to making the cut, but in the end, I had to go with this game's glorious opening level, Tropical Resort. What makes this level stand out from the others is this sense of speed this level offers. I mean, Sonic Colors is pretty speedy, but I feel the speediness is extremely evident here. Not to mention the level's design is sweet with being based on the theme park Eggman-esque. Kinda reminds me of the 2D Sonic's first levels. I mean, you can't say there's something evil going on by just looking at it. I really like that. Another thing I love about this level is that I can use two of my favorite wisps here, Laser and Frenzy. And in this level, I really like dicking about with the drill farm as well. Lastly, do I need to say anything about the music? Just listen and you'll understand everything. Tropical Resort, I think you deserve a fucking egg. Mario series have always had, okay, you know it's from Super Mario Galaxy, let's just cut to the chase. Super Mario Galaxy has some ingenious levels such as Gusty Garden, Sea Slide, and Freeze Flame, But the best one is, without question, Toy Time Galaxy. First of all, just look at this place. It's a freaking playroom. What's not to love? This level is just awesome with all the planets being literally little kids' toys. Also, most of the starts in this level are pretty enjoyable and fun, and complain all you want, but I like Spring Mario. Sure, he might be a bit hard to control, and just a bit tough to get used to, but it was really cool just boinging all over the place. Going back to the planets, this level also has cake, ice cream, and other sweets. Huh, it seems that the kid of this room has a bit of a sweet tooth. And the music is the remix of the original Mario Brothers theme. An awesome remix of the original theme. And that's all I can really say about this one. Although I do have reasons as to why I love this level, it is kind of a nitpicking case to me. In other words, I really don't know why I like this level, but I just do. That's good enough for me. Donald Duck Quack Attack. I already talked about this glorious game in my last countdown, but something I didn't mention were the great level designs in this game. All the levels are very well structured, but the one for my tastes is the second level, good old Duckburg. Duckburg is one of those city levels which just works. The 4 levels in this level, if that makes any sense, are all well structured and overall fun. The platforming in this particular level I always found better than in the others for some reason. One detail I also like is that each level has their own time of the day. Urban high-rises and First Avenue are set in the day and morning, Rooftops takes place in the evening, and the roofs happens at night. Also, the music in every level is great, from accelerating tunes of urban high-rises to calming and smooth melody of First Avenue, and those both combined in By Night, the music isn't boring at the very least. Lastly, this level's boss is my favorite boss in the game. The battle with one of the Beagle Boys is just so damn awesome, and I really don't know why. Maybe it's because of the fact that you beat him with dynamite, or that giant wrecking ball chasing you. This boss is just so much fun. In short, this level has great structure and great design, great boss battle and music, and you still ask why I like this place? Remember in my last countdown when I said that Pokemon franchise had great RPGs outside the main series? Well, guess what? The next level is, you guessed it, from a Pokemon spin-off. Yeah, the main series has some great dungeons, but the spin-offs have, in my opinion, greater highlights. And my favorite spin-off shall be the main star. Pokemon Ranger 2 is my favorite Pokemon spin-off for many reasons, but now we'll focus on my favorite level in the game, and my favorite dungeon in the whole series, Oilfield Hideout. Even before you enter this dungeon, you're having tons of fun. You're underwater trying to free a freaking whale lord from Team Dim Sun. It's a good day. Then Wailord's little friend Wailmer gets captured, and you rush to save him from this dungeon. You enter this place on a whale lord. If that's not at least memorable, then I don't know what is. On board, you meet your colleague Swen, who tells you that Dim Sun is using this old oil rig as a secret base. With that in mind, you start the dungeon. There's just something about this dungeon that baffles me. First of all, you get some pretty cool Pokemon captured here, such as Luxray, Dusclops, and Sceptile. The level has some very interesting and nice puzzles with the target clear, which is a nice touch. Also, the music is really good. I know it plays in the cargo ship earlier, but I think it fits this level just as well. Maybe even a bit better. But to me, the crowning achievement of this dungeon is its boss. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with the fact that the boss itself is a freaking Gliscor! But the real reason why I love this boss is one thing: satisfaction. I won't spoil why it's so satisfying, but I'll tell you this. Someone ran away from you when you almost had him, but now you can pay him back. Overall, this dungeon truly deserves this place on the list as the best Pokemon dungeon, at least in my eyes. Okay, this one's kinda cheating since the level in question is the overworld for the entire game, but
we're going to New Marais!
I'll say right now that I prefer the first Infamous game over the second one, and while Empire City is fun and it has the train, New Marais is undoubtedly better than Empire City ever was. When I explore New Marais, it always feels like an adventure in urban jungle. New Marais, while having only 2 islands, is considerably bigger than Empire City. This gives you much more landscapes and districts to explore. New Marais also introduces a few new mechanics like the electric jump poles, which are fun to mess around with. New Marais is a city level that makes you feel like you're on the top of the world. You're out trying to take down the bad guy, messing with your powers and surroundings along the way. The level gives you a feel of new exotic environment. Also, the level looks way more better than Empire City did. In Empire City, it felt like you're a prisoner, but New Marais feels a little bit more open. The fact that the city is in quarantine doesn't show that often in this game. New Marais also has some memorable locations such as Fort Phillip in Ascension Parish and Flood Town, which is basically this game's version of the water slums. And that's all I can say really. New Marais is another one of those city levels which works and it makes you feel like on an adventure in a new city. And that's all I could ask for. Ratchet & Clank series has always impressed with its levels. There's Metropolis, which is in 3 games and is overall pretty solid level. There's one level I feel represents the series pretty darn well: the Nefarious Space Station. First, the interior makes you feel you're in, where else? Space! The music is very eerie and fits the interior quite well. This part of the level, to me, represents the space theme of the franchise. However, the thing that makes me love this level the most is when you enter inside the space station. In here, you'll fight dozens of troops. I'll be honest, I've never had so much fun fighting so many enemies in a Ratchet game, and I think it's because this is supposed to be the final challenge. Fighting the troops is just so much fun for some reason. Not to mention, the other part inside the station is that you have to pose as Nefarious in order to destroy the defenses. And when you're Nefarious, you can, literally, get your enemies annihilated. And then you fight more baddies. Yay! Sum this all up with a great boss fight with Nefarious, and you truly get a level to remember. would be a list like this without a Zelda dungeon. The Zelda series has always been very stellar with its dungeons, with those which blow our minds and others that, don't. And my favorite dungeon in the series comes from the landmark of the series, Ocarina of Time. Now, this Zelda game is regarded to have the best dungeons in the series, with that one temple excluded, and while I do think there's one Zelda game with better dungeons, there's one temple that blows all competition out of the water. The Spirit Temple. I know it's the popular pick, but hey, don't take bullets on me just yet. First of all, I've never been a big fan of desert/sand levels. Ocarina of Time succeeded to pull off the exact opposite, as Gerudo Valley is my favorite area in the game, and Spirit Temple is the crowning achievement of this place. But let's get to the actual temple. Spirit Temple is unique for many reasons, the most notable one being the fact that you have to complete this dungeon as both child and adult Link. This gameplay tweak is definitely one of the reasons why I like this place. The puzzles in this dungeon are very well thought out, and they use both of Link's forms cleverly. You also have to use many of the other items you've gathered rather than just the dungeon item. Speaking of which, this dungeon has 2 mini-bosses, which means you get 2 dungeon items, and they're both pretty solid. Silver Gauntlets help you push giant boxes, and Mirror Shield reflects light beams and looks really freaking cool. The final achievement of this dungeon is the boss, Twin Roba, which is probably my favorite boss in the game. The way you use the Mirror Shield here is just... yes! And like Oscar said, the cutscene after this is hilarious. Overall, Spirit Temple is very solid level, and even a little bit more. Dark Chronicle. Trust me, this is not the last time you'll hear me talking about this underrated masterpiece. Anyway, we're not here to talk about how about 90% of you watching this right now have no idea what this game is. We're here to talk about the best dungeon in the game, and my second favorite video game level, Mount Gundor. First of all, I always liked lava levels, or just fire-themed levels in general. The floors you go through are mostly very balanced, with enemies having a pretty fair AI. So if you see that game over screen, it's definitely your own fault. I also love the design of this level, especially the latter part. It is kind of a generic volcano, but how it's presented here is something that I really like. This is also the part of the game where your weapons start to upgrade to their best stages. In other words, you can really kick ass in here. I also like the surrounding area, Heimrada. You see, in Dark Chronicle, you have to build towns into their original shape in order to restore the future. In Heimrada, some of these builds are actually pretty clever and unique, such as building a house on top of blocks. I also love the future area, Gundorada Workshop. That music! This is also the chapter where the story has many engaging moments, but I won't go into further details because spoilers. Only negative thing that really keeps it at number 2 are the bosses. There's a boring fight against Death Arg, a great battle with Gaspard, which is ruined by the incredibly easy monster Gaspard. But other than that, I'm beefless. This level is still solid, well, silver. What is gold? Let's find out. But before that, let's recap. Number 10, Golden Maya Citadel. Number 9, Tropical Resort. Number 8, it's toy time, guys. Number 7, good old Duckburg. Number 6, Oilfield Hideout. Number 5, New Marais. Number 4,
Annihilate him!
Number 3, Spirit Temple. And number 2, Mount Gundor. Number 1 is my favorite level ever. It's a level that has been with me since I first played the game it was in, and I still enjoy playing immensely today. And that level is Menace from the North, eh? This level is simply put perfect. And while He Who Tames the Iron Horse is great too, and it has yet another train, Menace from the North is just amazing. First of all, I love the premise. Maybe it's because I'm from the north, but the snowy fields of Canada always captivated me. Second of all, it's pretty easy to get around with all the characters. While it's easier in the previous level, it's pretty good in this level too. Also, in this level, Sly has an ability that he uses exclusively in this level, the Ice Climb. And it's a good addition to Sly's moves, even if only for one level. But the reason I love this level is because of the missions. Some of my favorite missions in the series comes from this level, including my favorite operation in the game. Not to mention, this level has a good variety of environments, such as the RC Battle Club, the Laser Place, and the Lighthouse. Finally, probably my favorite thing in this level is the boss fight against John Bisson. In this fight, you have to use the controls of the sawmill in order to damage John Bisson. That, and it's the only boss in the series which is fought out with Bentley. This fight is so creative, so much fun, that it's not even slightly funny. And all of this cements John Bisson as my favorite boss in the series, this chapter as my favorite in the series, and as my favorite video game level of all time. I'm FinnishDuck, and I love Canada. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.
massive damage.